What's up guys, it's Foster and I'm really excited to be back making some more video content. As you can tell behind me, I've got two Honda S2000s that I'm gonna be working on this winter, so I figured it would be cool to document the build that I'm doing with my race car and tell you guys a little bit more about this other project S2000 that I'm gonna be working on because I've got a lot of mods planned for this off season. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is the car behind me, the blue S2000, and it's actually the same car that I've had before on my YouTube channel. So I did a full build breakdown video, and if you're curious to know in detail all the modifications I've done to this car, go check that out. But since then, it's been a couple seasons and I've continued to develop the car and modify it, so I'll tell you about some of the updates that I made. Obviously, the most noticeable update to the car is the fact that it's now wrapped in a 3M gloss blue, and I think it looks really nice, a little bit more eye-catching than the white, and it doesn't show as much dirt, so that's been really nice. I've also changed the wheel and tire setup. I'm now on Apex VS5 RS wheels. This is a 17x10 fitment, plus 48 offset, and I'm still using a 255 tire. That way it gives me a little bit more stretch. In addition, I did install the hood vents previously. There's a whole video on that, but now I've got the track spec fender vents just for a little bit more aero. Underneath the hood, things still look incredibly stock, and that's because they are. I've still got the stock F20C in my S2000. It still has a stock ECU, stock intake, as you can see. So really no power mods done to this, and this engine's treated me great. I've had a lot of fun competing with it in SCCA and Grid Life.
It'd be really fun to watch as looks like Newman's gonna jump to the top of Street Mod, the 504 car, and Foster Johnson hucks it down into turn 5 there. This car looks a little bit more hooked up down here than Kevin's car did, right out to the edge of the road. That's okay though, you can kind of ride the rim there, and what you can do if you run the long way around, you're actually bogging the car down less because the radius is so much wider, so you can keep the revs up a little bit higher. And I really like that line there for Foster. Looks dialed. An S2000 around here would be a lot of fun. Little wiggle there though on the transition.
Yeah, that's what I saw going around that turn. He's going for it on this lap. We saw a little twitch going into that uphill. Is that turn 5?
Yep.
We saw a little wiggle through those S's and then a dirt drop there on the exit of that turn. So he's pushing it here.
The reality is it's just not a competitive engine setup for the classes that I'm running. So that kind of leads me to what we're going to be working on this winter. Behind me here you can see this is the plan. We're going to be swapping in a K24, and this is a complete engine package from Andy Smedgard Motorsports. He sends this as his GLTC package, so it's got a couple nice upgrades to it. At its base is a K24. This is the JDM RBB3, so very comparable to the K24 A2 that you get here in the States. In addition to that, he also does some bolt-on accessories to make this ready to go for an S2000. So we've got the K-Power intake manifold that converts it, since obviously this comes out of a front-wheel drive car originally. We've also got a nice radium fuel rail setup here, and we're going to be converting the car to drive-by-wire. So Andy went ahead and put on the Bosch throttle body with the silicone coupler there for vibration proofing. So this will help us convert the whole car to drive-by-wire. We're going to talk a little bit more about the wiring solution later, but I've got a plan for that too. Some other nice parts that this engine package comes with is the fluid damper pulley. Again, you want to reduce vibrations on these K24s. They're very buzzy engines, so I think that'll be a nice upgrade. And then we've got Haas-Sport motor mounts that will fit directly into the S2000. So this is a pretty nice turnkey package for people who want the easy button when they're K-swapping their S2000. But one thing I didn't get ordered with Andy is the wiring and the ECU. So for that, I'm going to be working with Sam from Dialed In Motorsports, and he's going to help us create a custom wiring harness, and we're going to be doing an M-Tron ECU for engine management. So we're going to talk a lot more about that in detail later. In addition to the engine and wiring, I've also got some other parts we're going to be installing, including Fortune Auto two-way coilovers. I've also got some new wheels that I'm going to be running this season. These are 18-inch wheels instead of the 17-inch wheel package that I have been running. And in the rear, I'm also going to be running some Carceps hubs. and those are going to be a nice upgrade over the stock hubs that I've been running. I'm going to do a whole installation video on those as well. So as you can tell, I've got a bunch of cool parts that we're going to be installing on the blue S2000, and I'm really excited to get this car ready for 2026 because I think it's going to be a lot more competitive with all these upgrades. You guys know a little bit more about my plans this winter for my blue S2000. Let's talk a little bit about this car. Well, I actually bought this for $2,800, got a really good deal on it, and while it was parked in my backyard in the carport, it actually had a tree fall on it, which explains why it's got some damaged bodywork. Originally, it didn't have any big dents in the bodywork, but unfortunately now it does have some things that I'm gonna have to repair. The soft top frame got destroyed by the tree that landed on it. So there's a lot of rough bodywork going on at the moment. This fender's not attached. That's actually from my blue car. I just kind of loosely set that there for the moment. But the main reason why I got such a good deal on this car is the fact that it doesn't actually have an engine or a transmission or a gauge cluster and some pretty expensive parts, which is why I got it so cheap. But the nice part is, because I'm going to be taking the F20 out of my blue car, I'm going to be also putting it in the silver S2000, and this is going to be more of a daily driver build. It's going to remain a convertible because I have missed the ability to drive my car to work and put the top down. So this is going to be more of just a summer fun car, and I'm going to use some of the parts from my blue car, and there's going to be some synergies there. So before we pull the F20 out of my S2000, I am going to actually drive it to work, and luckily I have access to a dyno there where we can do a baseline run and find out just how much power the F20 makes. Then after we get our K24 swap done, we're going to go back to the same dyno and try and dyno it on a day with similar conditions so we can get a side-by-side comparison to find out just how much more power you make with a K24. And hopefully if you have an S2000, this video will be helpful for you so you can know whether or not the K-swap is actually worth it. Okay, so we're done with the dyno runs, and now I want to talk a little bit about the results. The only power mods the car has is a test pipe, which will give it a slight power bump. But other than that, I was really impressed to see that a stock F20 makes 210 wheel horsepower and 137 torque. Now that's the part that can definitely be improved with the K24. I am hoping to see somewhere around 220, 225 horsepower and 185 foot-pounds of torque. But that should net me somewhere around 10 to 15 horsepower and around 50 foot-pounds of torque, which should be a huge improvement and should really help the car claw out of the corners. So I was happy to see that the car made 210. It means that it's a really healthy F20C, but I do think there's still gonna be a lot of gains from the K24, which hopefully there is, because otherwise I don't know why I'm spending all this time and money swapping the engine. So I'm really hoping there is a benefit to it. Well, that's all I got for this video. I hope you guys are excited about seeing the build progress I'm gonna be making this winter. And if you do wanna follow along, make sure you subscribe to my channel to check it out. In addition to modifying my cars, I'm also gonna be improving my shop, making it a nicer space to work in, installing a lift, installing new lighting, stuff like that. So if you wanna check that out, make sure you follow along, and I'll see you guys in the next one.